Ladies and gentlemen, consider the road to WrestleMania next year here in Las Vegas officially started. WWE's presence throughout the year is going to be felt in the city, and it kicks off June 9th coming up with NXT Battleground at UFC Apex. A few tickets available at access.com. Of course, you can stream it exclusively on Peacock. And here to talk about the event is the boss, the guy running NXT, the two-time WWE Hall of Famer, a man who I had questions prepared, but then they put on a banger of an episode and I had to throw them all out the window. We have a lot to talk about in a little bit of time. So first things first, Shawn, thank you for joining us. How was it meeting Sexyy Red in person, sir?
It was tremendous. I have to admit, I appreciate you having me. Very exciting. She was a sweetheart. I got to be honest. I was a little scared and intimidated at first. But she was just lovely. He was a sweetheart of a young lady. It was a lot of fun.
Look, it looked like you were having fun. Your eyes, it looked like you felt like you were back in 97. You were out there looking like a player. Real quick, have you said her catchphrase? Are you aware of her moniker, what she does during her songs?
Now, is that the ski?
That's all I needed, Shawn. Thank you. You got it. Her finishing move should be called the ski. And look, a lot of things happened last night. Of course, it was the return of the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, who was in the Royal Rumble earlier this year. And there's the history. We have Mickie James previously representing TNA at the Royal Rumble. If you could, how quickly did this come together? And also, as people should know, Jordynne Grace will now take on Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. What does this mean for this partnership and this next evolution?
Well, look, right now, a lot of those things are still being worked out internally. Obviously, as I, try to be honest with folks all the time, there's people above me that I leave to making all those kinds of decisions. What I enjoy doing is what we did last night, which is having the opportunity to bring real surprises and real, oh my God, moments back to the WWE, back to wrestling, back to NXT. And that's what we had last night. I've been very public about being a fan of Jordynne Grace. I expressed to Hunter privately that I was very jealous that he had her for the Rumble. And so that he owed me one. He owed me a big one. So look, it's we're thrilled to have her for Battleground. And we're thrilled to have her next week. This is going to be a huge, epic event. One, for NXT to be the first brand to be out there in the UFC Apex is just really, really big for us. And we are so honored, again, to get to be the brand that gets to launch that. And then, of course, to sort of one up ourselves like we always try to do, having TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace contend for the NXT Women's Championship, fighting Roxanne Perez is going to be really, really big. Crowning a new North American Women's Champion in a ladder match, a big, big night. And then, of course,
a beautiful title, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And look, we're talking about big stuff. And of course, All Ego Ethan Page, which is, a lot of questions still that I've got to get answered on that one because that was kind of a last minute thing as well. So, but look, I love it when it goes off the rails like that because that's what makes this business so great. And it really is. It's an exciting time. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan when even those of us that are kind of supposed to know what everything that's going on, even when you can have some crazy stuff going on with us. I think it's fantastic. It's been a joy to do, and we're really looking forward to, again, bringing you more big information and announcements next week and well into the future.
Oh, this is wonderful. And I want to say congratulations to you and the team, because in this age of social media, very rarely in wrestling do you get the surprise that's not reported on or talked about. And if I could, I'm not a part of creative. I just want to pitch a Worlds Collide, maybe a Mike Bailey versus Javon Evans, but I'll let you guys handle all that stuff and just wish that into existence. But you also talked about Ethan Page. And I do want to ask you, has there been, a change of philosophy with some of the recent pickups of bringing back Shawn Spears and Ethan Page and some of these guys, Javon Evans, some of these people that have experience and that aren't necessarily from that NIL pool?
Well, look, I think for us, honestly, here in NXT, it's always been about finding, again, the best performers, the best wrestlers that we can find. But yeah, but also cultivating a great many of our own. I guess I go back to no different than, even though it put me sometimes at odds with people when I was younger, this business has a little something for everybody. And so it's very, people always kind of want to, you know, narrow everything down to one way to doing things. And I just don't think, I've just never done this job that way, because what you like may not be something that the person next to you likes, or what I like is not the same as what other people like. So it's more about trying to have variety. And yes, to answer your question, like certainly, I guess, I don't know if it's a new philosophy. It's certainly the philosophy, certainly that I've always had. I know Hunter's had. And again, we just want to bring the best sports entertainment we can to everybody that's watching it. We want to put on the, banger after banger, fantastic wrestling matches. We can have one that's, entertaining in one way, but one that's, entertaining in a different way. And I think, the more open you are to different ideas and different creative possibilities, I don't know. For us, it's putting ourselves in the seat of the fans. And Hunter and I, at our core, are wrestling fans, and that's certainly all we're trying to do. And just as you spoke about earlier, the possible matchups; these are all things that we've all thought about, right? So why not see if it's possible to see how many of them we can make happen? Can't hurt to give it a try. All they can do is say no, right?
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Again, access.com to get your tickets. UFC Apex right down the street here from the station, and you can check it out exclusively on Peacock. So two more questions before I get you out of here. And again, Shawn, thank you so much for the time. And the one question I was excited to ask you is because I don't think this question could fit anyone else better. When you talk about CM Punk and returning back to the WWE and spending a lot of time in NXT, you had the chance to get a second chance at returning to the WWE, similar to Punk. What can you say on him, kind of mentoring some of the younger talent and just being involved at the way that he has been? Because I don't think anyone expected, obviously, him to return to the WWE, but him to be this involved like he is.
Yeah, well, look, he's been fantastic. And again, and I've always liked him, and I've always appreciated him. And I'll say this: I think all of us, and certainly don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think all of us grow and change in one form or another. And if you don't, I just don't know if that's something you ought to be overly proud about. You know what I mean? We're supposed to grow and get better with time and wisdom. But I think he's just really come to appreciate the same as I did. Appreciate that second chance, wanting to maybe do some things differently. And it's not so much about regrets or things like that, because I think he would tell you he's thrilled about where he's at, and to change anything might alter where he's at, right? That's the way I always felt. It doesn't mean you didn't make mistakes or you might have wanted to do something differently. It's just that this is the road you traveled, and where you're at right now is a fantastic place. All I can say is that he's been extremely supportive of everything we do here at NXT. Every time he's been down here, it's been a joy to work with. And I think for a lot of us, when you walk in the doors here at NXT, that is the culture that we really want around here. It's what we pour into. It's something that we cultivate here in NXT. Look, we won't have anything but that, again, which is positive energy, and it's about giving back and about supporting the future of the business that has been really, really good to us. And that's something that if you buy into that, you can exist here in NXT. And if you don't, it's just not something, we certainly want to be around. And again, whether, it doesn't really matter to us how you go about coming to that place in your life or your career. But if that is something that you're willing to do, and you want to be someone that wants to make a positive influence on somebody else down here, man, we'll welcome you any time of the day and twice on Sunday. And so all I can say is that he's been really good. It's a pleasure to have him. He brings something different, to the table than other people. And that's what we want here. That's what we have. We have diversity down here. No one idea has to be the right idea. A million different ways to, especially in this line of work, to creatively get us where we want to get to. So to me, anytime somebody wants to help, I say we give them a shot.
It's a beautiful thing. Shawn, very, very quickly, can you believe when you talk about change, and obviously you brought up Hunter, that these two guys who did this are the ones doing what you're doing right now with the WWE?
Look, I got to be honest. Him, maybe, probably not me, by any stretch. But look, it's when everything's said and done, we're doing what we love. And this has been so good to us. WWE's been so good to me and my family, and obviously his as well. And it really is. It's just about giving it back, paying it forward, and enjoying ourselves in the process. And honestly, hoping that we're having you all, the fans, enjoy it. It really is. That's all this stuff really comes down to, is having fun and making it entertaining for the people doing it and doing the best work we possibly can. Again, doing a good job is always fun. And right now, that's certainly what we're trying to do. The result seems to be that people are enjoying it. We're going to ride this momentum out to Las Vegas on June 9th, bring it to Battleground in Las Vegas, and hopefully keep it growing, and chugging on all cylinders from that point on.
There it is. Shawn Michaels, it was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for the time. We'll see you June 9th.